Hello and a welcome back to the Rawkode Academy. My name is David Flanagan, although hopefully you know me as Rawkode across the internet. Today we have an episode of Rawkode Live where we're going to be talking about DevOps and acing the DevOps interview. DevOps is a very special term in the technology industry these days. It means a lot of things to a lot of different people, but we're going to sit down today and have a conversation, break it down, share what you need to learn, and hopefully give you some knowledge that you need to move on in your career. Now, joining me today is Rohit. Hey man, how's it going?
Hello, how are you? So yeah, nice to meet you. How are you? I'm
uh,
fine. I had like brief of the talk sessions today, and I enjoyed some meetings. So it was nice day, and hopefully it is raining everywhere in Mumbai, India. So we are having fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today and coming here to have this conversation, share some knowledge, and more importantly, have a little bit of fun. So, before I ask you to introduce yourself, we've had a few comments in the comment section already with people saying hello. Please feel free to say hello. And if you have any questions that either of us can answer or help you with today, please drop them into the comment section. We love questions. We're happy to sit here and do our best to help you and everyone else. So, could you please say hello, introduce yourself, and then we'll take it from there. That's for you, Rohit.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so hello everyone. So I am Rohit Gumbre and I'm from Mumbai, India, and I'm currently working as a developer advocate at Solo.io. So, talking about myself, on the Twitter and LinkedIn, like I am sharing various resources on the DevOps and talking about the DevOps in various communities, as well as promoting the DevOps technology everywhere as I can. So I am the guy who can talk about DevOps, communities, devel stuff, and many more things. Currently, I am wearing various hats like you say ambassador, you say developer advocate, you say DevOps advocate, or you can say the DevOps engineer SRE role. So previously, I had like lot of things like I didn't know how to land into the DevOps profiles and developer advocate profiles, but if you come to my journey, you can learn my journey. Then it is like I have done everything in the last 2.5 years. So it is nice one. So we will come to the journey part afterwards. But for introduction of myself, it is like currently I work as a developer at Solo.io, and I am promoting the DevOps stuff. And you can learn more thing about me on the various open source platforms, like what we say blog platforms like Medium. You can contact me on the GitHub, LinkedIn, Twitter, and many more platforms. So yeah, if you want to learn about DevOps and MLOps, ping me anytime. I am free. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the wonderful. I don't know if it's wonderful. Maybe it's good and bad, right? But the wonderful thing about 2022 is that people are so approachable now on so many different platforms, and I would encourage anybody to send Twitter DMs to either of us, or emails, or any of the LinkedIn platforms, anything else. Like people are there, and people generally don't mind answering questions to help people. At least, I mean, I don't. I know that you don't. I'm sure there are many more people out there that just are happy to answer questions. So.
Yeah, best thing about the online platform is like I would give one tip to everyone, like if you see like social media influencers or digital nomads on the various platforms like LinkedIn and Twitter, but they are having like 100K followers and 120K followers, so don't directly reach out to them. I would suggest check their other platforms where they are not that much visible to people. Yeah, and like emails are there for like DM for collaboration type of emails, and otherwise they have some platform like Polywork or other platform like Insta where they don't have the followings, so they will easily reach out to you, like they will reply to you. So this is some of the best tips I can say. So these type of tips will come afterwards also.
Yeah, that signal versus noise ratio for people on some platforms can be very, like, through no ill intent, may just miss your message. You're right. Like, try and find, if you need to ask someone a question, there's usually maybe other platforms or profiles that you can go through. And I see a friend of both of ours, Marino, was in the chat saying 100% about approachability. So, hey, Marino, thanks for
And
joining us. We already have our first question from Samant, but before we tackle that, should we both kind of share our journeys and our stories about where we are and how we got to where we are today?
Yeah, you go first, then I
Ah,
will.
hey, that's not how this works. Right, okay. Yeah, so I've been try not to date myself too much. I've been working professionally in software for 20 years now. So, I mean, I've wearing a lot of hats. I have a lot of experience in different things. But one thing that has remained true for me throughout my entire career is that I'm eternally curious. I'm always playing with new technologies and trying to, expand my knowledge as much as possible. And I think the reason I always share that, I always say like I'm a bit of a technology magpie, is that because I think that curiosity and continuous learning is so important. Like there's nothing worse you can do as someone who wants to be in technology for the foreseeable future is to get stagnant and stop learning because the technology landscape isn't stopping by any means. I mean, let's look at the last 10 years. So I'm divergent already. But we've went from DevOps to SRE and cloud native and Kubernetes. Like it's just constant. You always have to be learning new stuff. So there's one tip for people is stay curious. However, um, throughout my career, I've always ended up doing operations in DevOps. I've been very lucky and unlucky. My first job was working for a company where I was responsible for embedded systems, EPOS systems, Linux GUI applications. I had to wear a lot of hats. And we were a small company in Glasgow, so we also didn't have like this throw it over the wall mentality of operations. Why was operations? If I wrote the code, I had to run it, and that has stuck with me. And probably the most valuable thing I've taken with me over the last 20 years is that I've never not been responsible for my own code in production. And I think that curse, I don't know, I don't mean to call it a curse, but it makes you think a lot about the things that you're shipping. So I was very fortunate that I wanted to improve that productionization and deployment pipeline. So I very early got into Puppet when it first launched in 2006. Migrated to Salt Stack, and when that came out, it must have been like 2009. It was maybe a few years after that. After that company, I did some consulting for a while, and then I ended up being director of development for a media company, and that was like super hard for me because I was writing less code, but I was also still the only person that had ever deployed anything to production. So I was kind of still doing the operational side. And what I hadn't appreciated before that role was this how to scale applications. So this was my first company where my application wasn't being used by 12 people on a physical site. It was like all websites, it was virtual, it was a company that owned magazines and radio stations. So our scale could be anywhere from 100 requests per second to 50,000 requests per second. And I had never dealt with that before. So that was a very valuable learning experience for me. And it actually dictated the next 5 years of my life, moving into the container space because I needed to be able to scale faster and virtual machines were quite slow. I mean, I can go into all of this in more detail, but I'm trying to not go on for 30 minutes here. And so we adopted containers, and I found out a lot of people were trying to adopt containers at the time. So I actually went back to consulting, and I found I was speaking at more events about containers and getting more gigs. And I think that's when I realized that I actually prefer sharing knowledge and helping people than shipping products or code or containers. And I
Oh,
started speaking at more events. And that's how I got into DevRel because I was like, you know what? I do have a lot of experience and I want to be able to make other people's lives easier. And because I'm always learning, I have this continuous curiosity. I'm always learning new stuff that I can also share, which is why we're sat here, right? Like I want to be able to learn from my guests and share that knowledge with other people. And I hope that other people enjoy that too. So I've been doing DevRel for the last 5 years now, mostly in the container cloud native Kubernetes space. Really enjoying it. Currently working at Pulumi, which is a very not DevOps exactly, but definitely operation developer crossover platform or tool. So I'm very much keen to have this conversation today. So how about you share your story now, please?
yeah. So it is really nice to hear that you have like diverse type of a knowledge from consulting to shipping to like having the developer advocacy, developer relations. So best thing about developer relations is like you are like learning every time. Means like if you are having this conversation also you are having some knowledge. So I'm gaining some knowledge, you are gaining some knowledge, you are having the mutual learning type of a thing here. So yeah, public sharing comes this type of a roles. So yeah, talking about my life journey is like my life journey started in 2020 lockdown. Corona situation was there, and I was sitting idly, and I saw like yeah, I have done nothing in my life. I'm just studying my bachelor's degree, and yeah, computer engineering is going slowly. So I thought like I should do something about this. Means I am learning the data science, but how, means I'm not enjoying that thing. So I learned about machine learning, and then I saw like machine learning can be integrated with various things. So I learned about the data analysis, data visualization, and how can you scrap the data, move the data to various things. So yeah, it was going fun smoothly, and all data science was fun. But it is like spark we have, right? That spark was not there. So I thought like, yeah, I should explore other tracks also. Then I learned about the Java and various Java, and then product development. So I joined one it's like, it was like part-time type of a thing, where I was working as a student developer. I was teaching assistant also at the that small startup during my college period, final year period. So it was carried out too. So it was fun, like I was enjoying. But yeah, I didn't found that spark there also. Then I moved to the machine learning integration with the various things, right? So then I come to know like there is a cloud technologies are there, there are hybrid multi-cloud. There is AWS cloud providers are there, various cloud providers are AWS, Azure, and GCP, various type of cloud providers are. So I saw like they are, it is nice platform, like we can have various services, and it is helping us to learn everything, and we can start everything at just one click, or like we can have anything on the web UI, and we can use that. So it was fun. That time I learned about the DevOps technology. So when I was integrating the machine learning with this technology, like how can we deploy one machine learning model into the DevOps, and I saw like, yeah, I mean, it's like which thing I was doing manually. Like I was training that model, and I was finding the error, and that again that error I am rectifying. I was checking like, yeah, this is the error. So let's move again to the previous step, first step, and again train that model. So it was hectic thing in the data science field. So yeah, that time I learned like how can you integrate the ML with the DevOps, and it is like complete MLOps pipeline. So you just have to deploy that model to the DevOps pipeline, and it will train automatically for you. You don't have to do anything after that. So it is complete automation. So yeah, that spark I got that time, and I enjoyed DevOps. Uh, then after that I joined one company as a DevOps cloud engineer. It was fun, but that company was has having some problem, so it was startup. So then I moved to another company where I joined as NLP and MLOps engineer type of role. So it was fun, I enjoyed mostly everything. Like I learned about the NLP, how can we integrate the machine learning with their thing, research and development part of thing. So I was working as a research and development engineer, you can say. So I was checking the papers and learning from them, and how can you. So in machine learning and DevOps is mostly about the tools. But if you want to develop your tools, you have to learn what other companies are doing, right? Cloud native platforms are there, projects are there on the Linux Foundation. It is easily available, so you can check. And so there are platform projects, you can check that document. So research about the things, how they build, how their case studies were running. So I learned everything in the machine learning field also, and on the DevOps. So it is never everything, but I tried to learn everything. So I enjoyed that thing. So research and development was fun, and that company, most of the part of my work was going to the machine learning. So what I did, I thought like, now is the time I should move to a next part of my life. And yeah, I joined as a developer advocate at solo.io. And yeah, developer relations is like fun. You can explore anything, like any technology you want. But I would suggest go with the tech stack you already know. So today there is a lot of hype in the developer relations market. So everyone is trying to get the developer relations role, developer advocacy role. So I would suggest choose the tech stack you know already, and company which is using that tech stack. So like I'm in the I'm working at the solo.io, that work on the Istio service mesh and Cilium AVPF like technologies. Similarly, your Rawkode is working. David is working on the Pulumi. So Pulumi is infrastructure as a infrastructure provisioning company. So you can launch the everything in just one click type of a thing. So it is also the DevOps kind of a thing. So it is one of the tools. So this type of companies you have to check in the DevOps field. So similarly, I know I'm going to share like what was the entire process to apply to these jobs, how I got this job. So previously I had various offers before this company. It was senior site reliability engineer role, site reliability engineer role, DevOps engineer role. So how can you get everything in this just 1.5 years of experience and 2 years of experience? So because everyone is reaching out to me on the Twitter and LinkedIn, like asking me, yeah bro, how means like does fresher don't get the DevOps jobs? So thing is in it's like not only Indian colleges but everywhere. I will thing is like they are teaching you teaching you the tech, what we say, uh, teaching you the things, but they are not giving the industrial learning. So if you don't have the industrial learning, how the companies will hire you, right? You are not doing any open source contribution, you are not doing the what actually needed for the interviews, right? They're just learning the theory knowledge. So what you can do, and how can you get this job interviews, how can you get the offers from front side not you have to like apply to the websites and then you will get the job. That type of things are happening, but there are different ways, we will discuss it later. So that was my journey till now, and yeah, currently I'm working as a developer advocate. So developer relations is also fun, but choose the tech stack you know. So today's this session will be completely on the DevOps. We will discuss the developer relations kind of a thing later. So yeah, uh, this was my part of a journey in the DevOps. So I know the AWS cloud providers, GCP, Azure, and there are cloud native projects, some of them which is necessary for the DevOps technologies, and there are some Red Hat products there. So you should know various things about this thing, and there is a compulsion like you should have the certification also. So that is myth, right? If I ask the David also, you have any certification, global certification exam? You have given any time? Any
No.
type of a global certification? So yeah, see, it is a big myth in the market. Like you should have the any global certification to get the DevOps roles. So we will discuss everything. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I went through like when the Cloud Native Foundation did their CKA, CKAD. I did do them, but I haven't renewed them. For personal choice, I just didn't think that they brought a lot of value to me personally. But I'm curious about what other people in the industry think. And also, you mentioned there was a lot in your journey there, so thank you for sharing all that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
there's
yeah.
two things that stuck out to me that I thought would be really cool for us to dive into. One, you mentioned DevOps, Cloud Ops, MLOps. There was something else. So I'm curious to you what DevOps means. And I know that there's this global, not global, there's like this debate, I would say, in our industry about whether it's a culture, whether it's a role, whether it's an idea and methodology. There's a whole bunch there, so we'll dive into that. But I'm also curious. Like you said, you've been doing this since 2020, so like 2.5 years. I wonder, like, is it intimidating for you, like, or for anyone new to this industry? Because like you come in and right away there's like containers and virtual machines and clouds and DevOps and SRE and Kubernetes and like wow, like I can't even imagine what that would be like these days for people that are coming new into our industry just to be overwhelmed and flooded with all these things that people must be telling them they need to know. And I'm curious about how you found that and what that was like for you.
Okay, okay. So thing is like everyone is getting the. It's like it is hard to find the resources available on the internet because no one is sharing with you. So a college student, a beginner, what they do, they ask the seniors, right? So but if senior is not doing the DevOps job, so how can you ask them, right? So he is not no, he didn't know like how to get the jobs in the DevOps, right? But he will share like, you are my junior, so I will give some knowledge to you, like some type of, we say in Hindi like it is a gyan type of thing. So it is like they will give you the knowledge which they don't have, like do this thing, do the DSA, do the coding, and then you can easily get the job. But that is not the path. How I means how I got the learning of the DevOps and knowledge of the DevOps is like, I joined one of the courses over there. Means like I didn't paid anything to learn about DevOps or any type of a technology. First I learned about data science in the mid 2090s end, and that time I did the Coursera certification. So I didn't go into the deep into that certification, but just learning of that thing. So how I get that certification, you can easily apply for the financial aid. So Coursera has the financial aid, apply to that, 12 days you can have, and you can easily get that course for free.
Wow.
Yeah, so many people don't know. So I did a YouTube video and blog for the same, and that blog has crossed 800 million views. So you can so it is
Wow.
like, yeah, it is really big thing. So that that blog has paid me well. That is other thing. But yeah, if you are sharing, if you know anything, share directly on the internet. So anyone, not everyone has the knowledge which you have. In 2019, in 2020, if you met to me, I was similar to any beginner. I didn't had any knowledge and everything. Just the thing is like, you have to start. You have to start anything, like if you want to learn the DevOps, go to my Twitter threads or go to YouTube videos of various people. So
Yep.
uh, we know like various people which into the DevOps. But yeah, I would recommend some certificate, what we say, YouTube channels. Like there is a Nana, Tech World with Nana. Another is a Rawkode has some various videos, awesome videos with the
Just a few.
podcast. Yeah, podcast of interviews where he's inviting various folks from various industries. So there are DevOps people also, there are cloud native people also, and different type of job roles are there. So other thing is like, there is Kunal. He's also sharing the DevOps various boot camps and thing. So there are, you should not focus on learning through this YouTube and Twitter only. I would suggest go to these cloud native projects and DevOps technologies, and read that docs. So there is a Terraform, right? Terraform is the infrastructure as a code. Similarly, Pulumi is there. Similarly, Crossplane is there. They have the awesome documents. But how, what can do? Learn that, read that docs well. So they have step by step installation, and then how they did that setup. Read that terms, smaller terms, like if there is a word, let's take example of a word istio. So what is istio? Google the istio word, and then istio has a well versed document. So this type of a thing you have to done. You are already learning in the college and universities, that you are reading big documents, you are doing the assignment. So this is nothing for you. So start. Another thing is like, how I did, I started with the DevOps, and I followed one path. It is like, you have to clear Linux technology, so learn about Linux well. So how well, I would suggest, don't go into deep into the security type of a stuff. So first of all, I am telling these things on the path to get the job, not to get the expert. So don't come back to me and attack like, yeah, you are wrong, you should go into deep and learn DevSecOps into deep. So I would suggest, to get the job, this is the path I followed, and you can follow if you want. But I'm just recommending you. So another thing is like, I started first learning about the Linux. So Linux, you have to learn about the Red Hat Linux, learn about the Ubuntu if you want, anything you want. But thing is like, clear the what we say, their Linux commands. So there are different types of Linux commands. So there are networking commands, there are SSH commands. So as what is SSH? It is like local hosting and server hosting type of thing, connections between the protocols and clients and server systems. So that type of commands you have to learn. Then another step is like learn about the Linux networking fundamentals. So thing is like if you are directly diving into the tools, so thing is like when you are hearing about the DevOps word, so people has the misunderstanding like you have to learn every tool. So don't go deep into the tools directly. Learn about the Linux and then networking fundamentals. So networking fundamentals is like basics of networking, not completely deep dive into the same, because you are not going into the security and networking kind of a role. You should have some basics of networking for the sure. So clear the fundamentals, then you can easily learn about anything in the future. So after the networking is done, learn about the containerization, I would suggest. So containerization, there are different kind of tools. There are Docker, there is a Cryo, there is a Podman. So there are different type of things. So learn about them. Docker, many people say like, what is a Docker? So they say, if there is one big example everyone knows, like this thing is working on my computer. I don't know if it will work on my manager's PC. So if Docker is there, you can directly deploy it on your computer and share that link with your manager, and they can easily view that link, and yeah, your model is deployed or anything application is deployed. So Docker is similar to that. Another thing is after containerization, you should move to the orchestration part. So you have learned the container, right? Docker you have learned, or you have learned the podman. So orchestrate that. So you can't do everything in just containerization. You have to orchestrate that containers. So like there is a thing which is Kubernetes. So Kubernetes, there is big what we say, big hype in the market, like you should learn about the Kubernetes to get the job, you should learn about the Kubernetes. But I have seen, it is my experience, I don't know, like it should have the everybody's experience. So you need the Kubernetes for the interviews, but when you get the job, they will not give you the job for the means like live job to work on the Kubernetes. I don't know, it has happened with everyone, because we are working in the cloud native what we say, we are working in the Kubernetes company, but we
Yep.
don't know. But if you work in some companies, I don't want to take the name, but they will not give you the Kubernetes job. They just take your interviews for the Kubernetes. So I don't know, like you are taking the interviews on the Kubernetes, but you are not giving the job to the student, job to the professionals who are you hiring. So that is different thing. So learn about the orchestration. So what is it? What it will do? It will scale your containers. It will scale your website. So if you are launching any website, so let's see, like I have my website. So Linktree, Rohit, let's take example as a rockwoodacademy.com. So if I am clicking on that website, I'm just one person clicking on it, but there are various people in this world who is clicking on that website. So it should handle everything, every website, right? So every person should easily handle that website. I mean, like see that website, and yeah, I can my photo and David photo there. So it should be visible to them clearly, right? So that is a part of orchestration. So there are various things Kubernetes and orchestration platforms can do, but this is one thing I'm just suggesting. There are various alternatives for the Kubernetes also. You can go and look out for them. Another thing is after the orchestration, I would suggest learn about the cloud providers also. And there is next part which is CI/CD pipeline. So cloud providers, what are the cloud providers? I will just give you the brief. So there are some companies, AWS, Azure, GCP, OCI. So what are they doing? They are providing you there is Sivo also now. So that is another big competitor. So let's take a name of them also. So thing is, when you are taking the cloud providers, what they provide various services to you. So think services like if you want to create any app, just write the code in them. You can create the app without coding also. So they provide that type of things also now. Another thing is like if you want to deploy the app, they can provide you the platform for deploying also. Another thing is like if you have that laptop, it's like you are seeing laptop, you have that system, so you can use this system virtually. So that virtual machines are provided by the cloud providers. So it is nice to learn everything about these cloud providers, but yeah, you should know the fundamentals also. So that's why I'm sharing this path, which
Yep.
is alternative to the cloud providers also. So you can build this virtualization on your local system also. So there are some things like what we say on premises, so that also you can learn. After that, after you learn this thing, I would suggest go into the CI/CD pipelines. So what is CI/CD pipeline? So full form of the CI/CD, first you have to know. I have seen horrible type of acronyms for the CI/CD, but yeah, I will give you idea. It is continuous integration and continuous deployment, we say. So thing is like, what is CI/CD? It is when you are having any let's see, have you seen in any company you are working, it is a MNC or any company, you see like there is a build reports, or you are getting the testing, then you see like deployed, that kind of terms you have heard previously. But how that terms internally work, so how that deployment is working, how the build success comes, how the build failure comes, so that part comes into the build, what we say, CI/CD. So there are various tools which are like Jenkins CI is there, Circle CI is there. So today we use the GitOps also. GitOps is like there is Argo CD, Flux, and various things are there. So what they are doing, uh, let's take example of one project to go into detail. So yeah, I think I missed one big part of this thing. After the learning of the Linux and networking, you should learn about the SVN. So what is SVN? GitHub, and there is SCM tools. So these tools
Yep.
are like yeah, GitHub. So when GitHub is like service provisioning, it is doing. So whatever packages you have, whatever code you have, you can store it on the online, that kind of a thing. So that is done by the GitHub and these companies. So let's take an example of one project. So you have the GitHub, you have stored the code inside. So then use that code and create the Docker file of it. So Docker provides the Docker file, right? So create the Docker file and write the code to get that GitHub repository inside. So it will install that application inside that Docker file, and then you have some links. So you have both of the things, right? So what will our CI/CD pipeline will do? They will take that code and they will automate that code. So like if you want to integrate, you want to deploy that application on the server or any kind of a thing, so they will take that code and connect it with the automation, and then if it is successful, then it will send there are various jobs. So in one of the job, it will send the message to the developer, like yeah, developer, your code is successfully deployed, and yeah, you can enjoy your weekend. But if it is not successful, then it will go to previous job, and it will show you a health checks like red type kind of a thing.
Then you don't
And
enjoy your weekend.
yeah, yeah, and it will show like build fail errors, and yeah, that kind of hectic things have seen by every kind of a developer. So I don't want to, I don't need to explain that things, right? Because everyone has failed the same. So that kind of a thing is done by our CI/CD. So after that, yeah, today GitOps is also trending inside this CI/CD. So learn about the GitOps, I would suggest, and it is kind of a future kind of a thing, so learn about it. So in that, I think there is a Jenkins X also now. So previously it was not there, so it is nice tool. So after that, you learn the CI/CD. Then it comes the monitoring tools. So you have deployed the application, but in future, how you will know like everything is going fine. You don't has the your application is deployed, and yeah, like this website is visible to everyone. So how will you will know that? Because you have developed deployed the thing, right? So operations comes under the monitoring. So what kind of monitoring tools are there? There are various monitoring tools are there. So you know about the Nagios, there is a Prometheus, there is Grafana, there is Elk Stack. So there are various tools you have to learn. You can learn, you don't have to learn everything, right? So I would suggest whatever I suggested previously, learn one tool of anything for interviews. Not go into learning everything. You don't have to be expert on everything. You just you should be learning one tool, and it should be like intermediate kind of a thing. No, you don't need to master, because it is impossible to master any tool. Because if you learn today and you will master that tool today, there will be next kind of a thing which will be coming to the market and it is trending. So what is the use of your learning? So you have the knowledge, you should make the fundamentals clear, not uh, get the close with love relationship with your tool. So yeah, once you learn this CSLD, and then you have learned the monitoring. Monitoring is something like you are getting that whatever you got into deployments and all, get that query, put into the Prometheus or any yeah, Logstash or something. So and that Prometheus will give some what we say query to you, that input it into the your Grafana dashboard. So you will see like visuals, beautiful visuals, like yeah, graph, that different kind of graphs. You will see like visualization, and yeah, my mic's visualization, that kind of a thing is there. So yeah, if that is you will see like yeah, this type of strength we have. This many people are visualizing our website really well. We don't have any downtime. So this downtime, this kind of things you will learn once you go into this deep dive into the DevOps. But yeah, I have shared I think some of the very well. But yeah, you will learn about various things other than this also. But I think this is the necessary path till now to follow and get into the jobs of the DevOps. So yeah, we will come to various points again,
Nice. That
situations. But
that is possibly the most comprehensive roadmap for DevOps I have ever heard in my life. Damn, that you covered everything there. So I'm going to loop pretty much everything you've just said there right back to Samant's question. Samant was just asking. I work as a cloud support engineer. I have 2.5 years experience with vCenter, vSphere, Windows, Grafana. How do I switch to DevOps profile? Like, I think that roadmap. Oh, my comments went off the screen, but that roadmap is like spot on. And he also follows up saying he does have some knowledge of AWS, Linux, and Ansible. You covered this. You covered source control, the Linux, learning the primitives, containers, orchestration, monitoring. Everything was in there. So like, just start chipping at those things one at a time, picking up what you
yeah,
need to learn,
once
and then
once you learn about the infrastructure as a code, which is Terraform and Pulumi, and what another is Crossplane. Once you learn about them, one of them, not all of them, you can move to the infrastructure provisioning, which is you mentioned Ansible. So Ansible is the infrastructure provisioning. It is like you can launch the anything like if you have any files in your folder, so you can automate to view that files, and you can check any word. So if there is a word, a raw code is going to the gym in that file of any some folder, so you can directly view that file using the Linux commands also. Some will talk that thing, but there is a thing which is called as Ansible, which will automate this thing on different systems for you. So you have different systems, you can view anything on that systems just by writing some what do we say Ansible code inventory. So yeah, that is the thing. Yeah, learn about the YML also. I would suggest YML is not necessary, but learn about it. It is the easy language, it is not different. Yeah, it is similar to what we called as a uh, it is I think it is similar to JSON. I don't know about others, but I think it is really similar kind of a thing. Yeah, go
all
ahead.
right.
Okay, so I'm sorry for disturbing you in between.
No, all good, man. It's all good. So here's a next question then from Harsh Kumar. Is it possible to get remote jobs in DevOps as a fresher with no prior experience, but having the relevant skill set? So, do you have any advice or tips?
Yeah. I wanted to come into this later, but yeah, we have the possible opportunity now. So let's answer that question. So yeah, remote jobs or any jobs you are getting into DevOps, people have a myth like you can't get as a fresher. So I have done it. You can do it too. So how can you get? So there are various platforms, as I suggested, and there are projects on the which is available everywhere. So cloud native projects are there. There are platforms like there are platforms like open source platforms like GitHub is there, and there are GitHub is there. There are documents of these companies also. Like if we take an example of a Pulumi, so Pulumi has various docs. So go to that docs, learn about that docs, and like this thing works like this. So yeah, how the Pulumi installation is working, how they are creating that installation, how can you integrate that. You don't like you have the relevant skills, so you can integrate that with another tools also. Take that thing, build the demo, write the blog for it, or share the code snippets on the LinkedIn platform or Twitter platform. Bulumi employee will see you, Rokod will see you, and then he will reach out to you, right? Yeah, you are writing really nice blogs, and you have done everything really well. You are means we didn't knew like this can be done like this also. So this is happening with their various employees of company. It is not a fake thing I'm sharing, but yeah, if you are doing any real world use case, some employees like me also don't know like it can be that type of use case also be solved by our product. So that kind of a thing is done. So you are building anything, share online, go on go means like public sharing is the best thing you can do. So I always recommend that learn by doing, and public sharing is the best thing you can do to get the jobs. So how it is like you are learning this, you have the relevant skills, right? So build the demos for it, write the blogs or code snippets, screenshot it, share on the LinkedIn, share on the Twitter, and you are if sharing day by day, use some hashtag like many people follow 100 days of course or 90 days of DevOps and various type of things they follow. You can follow the DevOps community hashtag also if you want to recognize easily, because I'm running that community, so it will be helpful for you also because I will retweet. So that kind of a thing you can do. So if you are doing this daily, you will get the reach. Because once one day you will not get the reach. Yeah, don't get uh, sad like I'm not getting the reach, so I should stop. Wait for the 20 days, or not 20 days, 10, 15 days, 20 days, and you will see the results. People are recognizing you, they will reach out to your DMs. So teachers or like help with this use case, you will get the freelancing opportunities also easily if that company is not reaching to you. Another thing of open source contribution you can do, go to that company's GitHub repository and see like what kind of a code they are building, what you can add into that. Or third kind of a thing is like communities. So every company has a community, so like our solo.io has a community. Go into that community's what we say community Slack channel or Discord channel or forums, and see like read if you know that tool. uh, you can see like various employees are various users asking the doubts, or they are like having problem with anything. Solve their doubts. Employees or developer advocate will see your efforts, and we will reach out to you, we will ask for your guidance, or in future you can get the jobs also. I have seen various people getting jobs like this. I got the job by Twitter reach out so you can got anything, you can get the job by anything. So this thing is happening like I said the three steps to get the remote job. Fourth is networking. So now how you will grow your networking, you will have you should have submit the CFPs in the various conferences. One of this thing you can do. Second thing, write the good blogs. So your blogs will reach out to various people. My blogs reach out to various people, that's why it was one type of open source contributions you can validate. Because if I am doing any project or something, uh, but in future if someone does that project also, doesn't matter for you, right? So what you can do, for now you have done that project, right? So write the blog for it. You have the validation for that project, right? In future if you are applying to the any jobs, you have your projects in the resume or your website, so you have the validation for your work, right? So similarly if you are doing any community sharing LinkedIn platform, like any that code snippets you shared, right, public sharing, that is also your validation of your work. So if you have the validation of your work, it is easy to get the jobs. You will not get any problem. So that things comes in the open source contributions. And another thing, not uh, don't think like means many people has many students has the afraid to write the blogs or come to the video screen. So first time when I was giving the talk, I was also feeling like so means like being Indian, it is like means like what we say, we are not from the English speaking countries, so it is some kind of a thing which affects us. So don't hesitate, go to, if you have the knowledge, people will listen you if you don't speak well. So if you have the relevant skills, do these things which I have shared, you will get the jobs for the sure. So open source contribution can help, uh, sharing the things on the publicly, it will help you, like Twitter and LinkedIn. Third, giving the talks and workshops, conferences, it will help you. Fourth, writing the blogs, open source contribution and code contributions. And fifth, what I shared, I forgot. So so you can
So
point if you want, and let me know if you have any doubt. Reach out to me and on my LinkedIn platform or Twitter platform, so you can add that comment doubts on the comments or section also. I will answer them here only. Yeah.
awesome. Great advice there for everyone to follow. And I can agree more. Like, the one I want to kind of highlight that I think is really important is just sharing what you learn, especially if you don't have a lot of professional experience, being able to build up that repertoire and that profile of just being someone that goes out there and learns stuff and shares it is really, really going to help. Like, and there's just some amazing people out there sharing content, and we need more of that. We definitely need more of that. The one thing I would add to what you've said is just like, um, what makes an experienced engineer isn't how many jobs they've had; it's how many times they've failed. Like, we all learn through failure. So I would encourage people that are new to DevOps and Kubernetes and containers and cloud and CI/CD and all of this stuff that we were talking about, is that it's okay to make mistakes and it's okay to get things wrong, because that just means that you're learning. So get really comfortable with that. I've been doing this 20 years and I still make mistakes every single week. And what what you get better at is recovering from those mistakes quicker and learning from them faster. And I think that's a really important part of the learning that we try to not sweep under the carpet or hide, but we definitely, 20 years ago you were vilified for mistakes. Like, people would say, "Oh, you shouldn't have a job and you're crap," and that was a horrible, horrible culture in our industry. And I'm really glad to see that getting better and improving, and everyone being a lot more welcoming within the industry. So yeah, get comfortable with failure and listen to everything that's been said here, because Rohit is dropping a ton of knowledge here, and this is wonderful. So all right. We have another question, which is kind of adjacent to what we're talking about now, and one that I think is a really good question, which is about data structures and algorithms. So the question is, I don't like DSA. Nobody likes data structures and algorithms. I guarantee you, nobody likes them. Will that impact their DevOps journey? You want to tackle this, or you want me
Yeah,
to
I
start?
can add some points and
Yeah.
you can add some points, because I know like you have some knowledge about this, and you would have some awesome points to add. So let me add some and you can add others. So data structures and algorithms, about this thing like DSA, many people feel like DSA is only the competitive coding. So competitive coding is a different, programming is different, DSA is different. So you should know first that all. So DSA, in college, it was DSA was our subject. So I have learned there and I cleared. I was happy. But after that, I didn't had much contact with DSA. I just learned about the programming like Python and there is Python, Groovy, and I am starting to learn about the Go because see, I am working as a DevOps engineer and developer advocate and don't know the Go language. So I don't know because thing is like you should learn. I would suggest like learn one programming language very well and other you can learn easily afterwards, so that is not a point. So learn programming language, data structure algorithms will not learn the syntax well, so how why it will disturb you in the DevOps journey. So DevOps journey require the scripting. So scripting is like Linux scripting, Bash scripting, and Groovy scripting is there for the Jenkins pipeline. And there is another scripting, today Go scripting is there. So this scripting is required to, and other thing is like the Terraform code if you are infrastructure as a code. So that type of code is there, so there also you are doing the scripting. So DSA will not impact you in your it doesn't impacted me. So yeah, that was my kind of knowledge in this thing. So yeah, David, you can add some points here.
Yeah, of course. I just want to pop a comment up because it's just saying how awesome you are and how informative this has been. So yeah, I just want to echo that. Like this, there's so much cool stuff here. To add to what you're talking about, I agree. I don't think I've ever been on a DevOps interview or even given a DevOps interview where DSA has been important. So like if you find that data structures and algorithms are a particular weakness of yours, and that's fine, they are for a lot of people, then DevOps is a good way to go and work with all these cool tools without necessarily having to know how to reverse a binary tree, right? And to be honest, I spent a lot of time in my youth doing data structures and algorithm stuff, and it's never really been that useful to me in my entire career. Because we've moved up the stack, language like programming languages and standard libraries for programming languages all have these things implemented for you. If you need a priority queue, hey, it's in the standard library. Do you need a heap? It's in the standard library. Do you need a hash map and do you need to sort it? It's in the standard library. Like I can't remember the last time I had to break out any of these algorithms for day-to-day work. And I'm really disappointed as an industry to see organizations still present these questions to people at job interviews because I think all they do is confirm that someone went to university or college. And I think we're progressed so much further beyond that now in our industry. Like we have people coming from non-traditional backgrounds that don't have that knowledge. And I think these are a disadvantage. These interview style questions are a disadvantage to them. And I don't think that's fair because again, we just don't need to do this stuff day to day. Now there are some programming languages that don't have as complete standard languages like C. So if you're going for a C job, maybe you do need to know recursion and how to work with binary trees or macro trees or bubble sort or quick select, any of these things. But 9 times out of 10, or even 99 times out of 100, these things just are not applicable anymore. But I'd like to see organizations uh, give people tests, or not even just tests, but be able to, through conversation, judge someone's experience and what they're interested in and what they're capable of without resorting to these horrible whiteboard DSA style questions. I think we can do better, and I hope that we do better. Um, so yeah, DevOps, I don't think it'll be a problem for you. You're very unlikely to get DSA questions. And if you did want to move into engineering, you just have to find the right organization that knows how to speak to developers and understand developers and what they're capable of without resorting to traditional whiteboarding style questions, which I still think are few and far between right now, but it is getting better. All right. Cool. Kunal joined us. He's saying he has the same mic and headphones as you. There we go.
I'm like I saw this mic on Kunal's video only. So I thought like yeah, it is nice mic because Kunal is using, so it will be nice. So I bought one. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, we are approaching about an hour now. Is there anything you're going to share some resources with us today, right? You've got a repository that could be a valuable resource for people to learn more about everything that we've spoken about today. So I think we should show people that. Do you want me to share my screen, or would you like to share your screen? Do you have a
Yeah,
preference?
yeah, you can share that screen. So I will explain on the video.
Yeah. All right. Too many monitors. Let me there. Cool. All right. So this is your GitHub username. So that is Rohit G00. You have a repository called DevOps underscore books, which people can check out. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah,
Why you
so
started it and who it's for?
yeah. So thing is like it has a books which is available of various DevOps. What do we say? There are various writers which are writing about the system designing, and they are writing about the DevOps, Kubernetes, Istio. So they have various books which are freely available ebooks, but people are finding it hard to get that resources easily. So what I did, I collected everything and I asked various people to add that. Means whenever they find any books or something, ebooks or something freely available, you can upload it to this website, this GitHub repository, and it is like open source contribution for you also, and it will help the other also. So it is like huge library where everyone can see that what we say uh, books and read about them. And yeah, it is freely available, you can read the books here. Another thing is like I would share my what we say. You can go to my Twitter profile. So there are communities like should I share the screen?
Yeah, sure, go for it, man.
Oh, I guess I'm feeling some problem here. Okay, okay. Yeah, is my screen visible?
No, I don't think you're sharing yet. Is it sharing on your side? Because I don't see anything.
I guess there is some problem with my new Mac. I just bought new Mac, so that's why it doesn't have any sharing type of access. So yeah,
The
no problem. You
yeah.
can go to my Twitter profile, and I will explain the things. It is like there is a DevOps community uh, where you can ask the doubts, and I will answer that doubts. Or there are various people available on the DevOps community which will share the answer for you. So whatever questions you want, we will answer for you. Another thing is like you can use that hash DevOps community hashtag, and that hashtag will help you to get into the means like search on the your search panel as hashtag DevOps community, and you will see the previous resources I have shared. So there are some DevOps roadmaps are there. There are DevOps path, like how I did my journey into the same. Other thing is like there are various courses available freely, which is provided by various YouTubers and various people. So you can easily find that on my profile. So another thing is like I will start my newsletter to soon to share these resources into one page, and you can easily see that tweets and various resources easily in the documented format. So yeah, there are my various blog websites, and this is the thing. Yeah, you can go check out everything for me. And another thing is I would recommend highly recommend you to go to the Rawkode Academy, that Twitter channel, and they have like nice sessions. Go and check. So now, last and least, you have to start as a means like you should have start. You are not far ahead of everyone into the DevOps path. You should start. Once you start, you will get the things easily. So open source contribution is the same also. You should small contribution make the big impact. So yeah, go ahead, and yeah, let's conclude, I guess. If you have any questions other than this, I would really like to share. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
if anyone
guess.
has any questions, please drop them into the comments section. We'll tackle them in just a few minutes. I'll just echo everyone should definitely be following here. So this is the profile, lots of good links here. There's a newsletter. I love that you've got a nice little kind of pinned introduction as well, just about who you are. So yeah, awesome. And I want to just point out this books list was awesome, right? So there's books on
Other
Ansible,
than this,
AWS, Azure. Sorry, on you go.
Other than this, I think we have missed one thing is like MLOps kind of a thing. So I will give the little brief about the MLOps. It is like, if you know the DevOps and machine learning, integrate that machine learning and DevOps both. It is like machine learning on DevOps is MLOps. So MLOps is like monitoring the various machine learning models easily. So today thing is like data scientist is facing the problem to learn about the various things like data scientists are facing the problem to deploy the models, and when they deploy the model, 60% of their model goes into the scrap. So they have to move again and solve that errors and start again. So they will solve that problems. So it is like, if you deploy the model into the CI/CD pipeline, it will automate for you, and then after you do the automation, and it will run the pipelines again and again. So your code, you have written the script in the that CI/CD, and it will run that code for again and again till you get the your accuracy which you want. So it is nice. I have some blogs on the MLOps also. You can go to my website and you can check that blogs. So I have some projects on the DevOps and MLOps side also. You can check that. So MLOps, how to land into the MLOps? This is the best career I would suggest for now, because there are only least companies working on the MLOps. So you have the more opportunity to get into the MLOps. So learn about the ML into basic, like of various algorithms are there, and then connect it into the DevOps kind of a thing. So it is easy. So as David suggested, you don't need to learn deep into the data structure, but once you learn the Python, every libraries are there easily, which you can use that library to build the packages, and you can build your own library also. So it is not an issue. So yeah, thanks for having me, and yeah, it was nice. Yeah, so ask the questions if you have. Everyone, you can ask any questions you have. We will answer you for you. Another thing is like, there are various tools we have not taken here under roadmap after this. So there are various things after the basic things has done. So like chaos engineering is there, service meshes are there, istio is there. So if you want to learn anything about the service mesh istio, go to the solo.io academy. So there are various courses, workshops we do for the same, and you can find that easily. And if you ask me also, I will help you to learn about the service mesh istio, anything about DevOps. We will free to answer you. Same thing you can ask to the David also. He is really active in the communities, and he has many hats. When you check his profile, you will get understanding. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, I will include all of the links and all of the resources that you have mentioned today in the show notes below. So anything that you've missed, they will be available shortly after this episode. The list of books in that repository are just great. I can't believe there are that many books that are available for free. Like, that is awesome. I don't think we have any more questions, but we do have some thank yous. So we got a thank you there from Harsh,
Thank you.
and another thank you there from SMN. Uh, so yeah, I think we tackled both of their questions. So thank you for watching and joining us today. All right, I think that was perfect. Thank you for joining me today and just sharing so much knowledge about your journey and the DevOps roadmap, talking about MLOps. I mean, there's definitely a lot of interesting things there that we could sit and dive into deep for another hour. I think we could easily schedule a Twitter space or another follow-up episode where we go a bit deeper in some of this. But I just want to say thank you for joining me again today, for sharing all
Thank you
that
for.
knowledge. And I hope that we get to speak again soon. So, any last words before I let you go for today?
Yeah, thank you for having me, and it was fun. Like, yeah, David, connect. Let's connect in future for further episodes for this, or like we can have the Twitter Spaces also, where we can invite various people on the same.
I
So
know.
yeah, it was nice talking to you, and we had the really great audience. So yeah, thank you for joining.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, everyone else, have a great day. We will be back again soon. Until then, enjoy the weather. I don't know.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Searching Rawkode live.